Hello, my beautiful geniuses. So we're looking at the parable in the sacred Judeo-Christian scriptures of the New Testament of the Bible, Matthew 22 verses 1, and it's a story about a king. And this king was getting married to a beautiful girl, and they had a wedding feast that they invited everyone in the village to. But the people in the village disrespected the king, even though this king was proper Sigma, he was. And what they did was they said, "Oh, I can't be bothered to go to your stupid wedding feast." The one person said, "I've got work to do. I can't be bothered to take a day off and go to a wedding feast." Just making excuses, being disrespectful. And the other person said, "Oh, I got married, so I can't be bothered." They didn't even think that would be a good idea to go on a date to someone else's wedding. Just disrespected the Sigma king and his beautiful wife-to-be. And then what's worse, the whole town went and they said to the king's servants who were handing out the invitations, "You know what? We're so sick of a lot of you," that they killed those servants. Yeah. They took them, slit their necks, and stabbed their knife deep into their tummies and pulled out their intestines, wrapped it around their throats that were left, and popped their heads off. So then the king found out what had happened, and he was not happy, and he was a good king. He knew how to put his foot down and stop nonsense like this. So he sent more servants out, his army out, and they burnt the village down where those naughty, disrespectful murderers lived. But then there is a happy ending to this story, because the king said to his servants, he said, "Oh, what I want you to do now, instead of inviting all the town people, the respectable businessmen and that, because they were so disrespectful and they're gone now anyway, I want you to go out and search high and low for all the disabled people, for all the homeless people, for all the really down and out people, for the people who are naughty people. I want you to look for all those people, the people who have just come out of jail people, the people who live on the streets. I want you to find those people. They're coming to my wedding feast." So his servants did that. They went and searched high and low, and they found lots of amazing people who were just only too happy to be treated to a wedding feast, to some food at last. And what the king did was he provided each person with a set of wedding clothes so they could look nice when they came into the feast. And that was a typical custom of the day. And this parable is a story of basically how Lord Jesus and God, his Father, they're all God. Remember, Lord Jesus, God the Father, and the gentle dove, they invite us to the wedding feast that we're going to have one day in heaven to celebrate the fact that we're there in heaven with God. And it's just like a wedding feast, they say, because it's going to be like a big party. That's what they mean. And a lot of people say no to Jesus. They say, "We disrespect you," and they say his name is a rude word, and they're horrible to his children, the servants. But then a lot of people actually really respect Lord Jesus, and they're the ones who'll go to his wedding feast because they believe that Lord Jesus was perfect for them in their place, that he gave them clean, fresh clothes to wear so that they would be invited and suitably clothed and not sinful anymore. Just washed clean in his blood, like putting on a new pair of clothes. So there was one man the king discovered at the wedding feast. And this guy, he hadn't put on the king's wedding clothes that had been provided for the guests, which was very insulting to the king. And it's just the same as us. When we get to heaven, we're going to be asked, What qualifies you to get into heaven? And all we have to say is, the Lord Jesus said I could be here. I put my trust in him. I believe that he died for me. And yeah, you'll be let in. And when you say that, it's like you're putting on a beautiful pair of wedding clothes. The man who was at the wedding feast, who had got in and he hadn't believed, he wasn't dressed in the clean, fresh clothes of salvation. Well, unfortunately, he was kicked out. So that's a parable for us all to take note of. So I encourage you once again to believe. Just trust Jesus. He loves you so much, That's why he gave his life for you. Peace.